Tappy has just released Arc 8 Chapter 10, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. Highly recommend you check out my Arc 8 Chapter 9 summary. Anyways, let's begin. How can you distinguish between unconsciousness and sleeping? Both are restorative processes. However, fainting is only around half as effective, and it makes those around you feel differently. Subaru wakes up, eyeing the unfamiliar ceiling. Beatrice calls him a sleepyhead and walks up to Subaru. Subaru calls out to Beatrice. Subaru asks if Beatrice was holding his hand the whole time, and she says yes, because they are partners. Subaru wonders where they are, but first Beatrice says to look around the room. Subaru looks around and sees that in the cramped room there are over 10 people sleeping. Hayan, Tanza, Luis, Utakata, and the person holding Subaru's other hand is Petra. Beatrice says that everyone was fighting to hold Subaru's hand. Subaru cannot believe it, but Beatrice tries to explain that Subaru is bigger than he thinks, and he needs to be more aware since he has more allies. Subaru says everyone is overprotective of him, because he shrunk. Otto appears and states that Subaru should focus on himself rather than trying to protect everyone else. Otto tells Subaru that he is glad he could make it, and Subaru blushes. The scene changes. The evacuation of the city occurred when Subaru was unconscious. Subaru was listening to Hayan, Whites, and Adora praise him for doing well. Tanza appears and apologizes for not being useful at the crucial moment. As most people left the room, a voice called out to Subaru. Subaru turns and sees Emilia. Emilia says that she is happy to see him, and see that he has made lots of friends far away from home. Emilia states that they all stood by Subaru's side the entire time. Emilia says she wants Subaru to be even more happy than this. Subaru wonders why Emilia is going that far for him. However, Emilia reverses it by saying that he does the exact same thing to her, ending it with, "What do you think, my knight?" Subaru praises Emilia for how far she has grown, but Subaru calls Emilia Emilia, and Emilia says her name, and then Subaru adds in the Emilia Tan. Petra then wakes up, since she was sleeping, and states that she wants to talk to Subaru with Emilia, considering they haven't had any sort of time to speak to Subaru. And we also see that Garfiel, Otto, and Beatrice are also in the room with Frederica. Subaru knows that all of them must have overcome hardships in order to get to Wallachia. This was a reunion, but not a full one. Subaru couldn't leave until he was back in his original body, the Natsuki Subaru of 18 years old. The cast then talk about how cute Subaru is, but they prefer Subaru when he's bigger. With the casual atmosphere, Subaru realizes he is back with the Emilia camp. It's been a long time with many hardships. The Shadrakians, the Gladiator Island, Guaral, now he is back with his camp. Subaru notes Roswell and Ram are not present, assuming they are with Meili back at the Roswell mansion. But Emilia states that they are actually all present. Subaru was mainly concerned about Ram than anything. After all, Rem was currently awake. Subaru asked if Ram and Rem had met, and all of their faces grew tense. This was a reunion which occurred when Subaru was unconscious. Subaru really wanted to see it, but he missed an historic moment. The scene changes. Rem and Luis are standing outside of where Subaru's room is located. Luis seems to want to go and see Subaru. Rem knows that the people in the room are good people, and after all, they're also related to Rem in some way. Rem is of course aware that people like Emilia and the rest came to the Wallachian Empire in order to save Subaru and Rem. I can hear the screams of Barasu. Rem turns around and asks Ram if she dislikes Subaru. However, Ram tells Rem to call her sister instead of calling her by her name of Ram. Ram, standing there with the exact same face as Rem, but with pink hair and eyes, exudes confidence. Ram, however, has no memories of Rem, but comparing facial structure would confirm they are related. Ram, however, says that synesthesia does not lie. Rem is of course confused, and Ram explains that it's the connection of souls between blood twins. Ram states that she can tell where Rem is by focusing on it, and asks if Rem feels the same. Rem closes her eyes, and she does feel a large sense of security from Ram, but she's very scared, since she's only spoken a few words with Ram, yet she feels very safe around her. Rem had met many people, Katya, Subaru, Lewis, and Ram's presence climbs right to the top of the hierarchy. It's not hard to wish to recover lost memories, but Rem is scared of the problems which will arise if she does remember. The way you see, feel, everything changes. Rem is of course conflicted, as her heart is convinced of Ram, but her head is not. Ram puts out her hand and states that she is Rem's sister, and she was born to love her. Rem finally starts to open up to Ram and calls her Sister Ram. Ram is a bit shocked, but says that it still doesn't sound right, and to just call her Sister with no name. So Rem calls her Sister. Hearing that, Ram closed her eyes and holds Rem's hand. She then whispers into Ram's ear that she truly understands that Rem is her sister. It's almost as if Rem's soul was swimming with love. The sense of security she obtained from Ram was immense. Ram then tells Rem that they need to enter the room and show the others their sisterly love. With that, they enter the room, with Lewis sandwiched between them. The scene changed. Subaru was happy that everyone got to meet Rem, however his body was still small and he had to remedy that. Not only that, Rem's memories were an issue. We see that Beatrice is the only one left in the room, and Subaru says that he's okay to be left alone, and Beatrice leaves the room. Subaru is now alone. Subaru has many regrets. What happened in the evacuation? Why was Tanza so gloomy? Why was the Emilia camp so happy? How did the events of the city end? Can you answer half, if not all of them? Subaru then asks. That depends on how much you're willing to compromise, the voice states. The man walks out, walking majestically and with hostile eyes. He asks, how eloquently you speak, stargazer of the Dragon Kingdom, Natsuki Subaru. This man was Vincent Valacchia. And with that, the chapter ends. So we finally have the reunion of Rem and Ram. Unfortunately, we did not see the exact moment where they met, which is a bit disappointing. We see that Vincent Valacchia was somehow in Subaru's room, and I'm not too sure how he got there. But either way, it seems that Vincent believes that Subaru is a stargazer. Of course, he's wrong, because Subaru is not a stargazer. But again, it's interesting to see where this goes, but let me know what you think of the chapter.